Hello everyone, welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith, and inside this game unboxing, I am happy to be unboxing Massive Darkness 2 Hellscape from Cool Mini or Not. This one has history on the channel in terms of the series of games that Massive Darkness, the universe, has provided over the years. The first iteration I did an unboxing for and a full play of the game to show you how it works. And then when this second iteration came around for crowdfunding, I was able to complete a tabletop simulator preview for the game, but now the final version sits in front of me and I cannot wait to dig inside the box to see how it actually looks in its final form. Now, without further ado, we're going to dig into all the components inside the box, but first let's take a look at the back of the box and find out a little bit more about what Massive Darkness 2 Hellscape is all about. 10 years have passed since the Lightbringers defeated the darkness and made the surface world safe, but while the darkness may have been driven back, it was not destroyed. In time, it regained its power and has now launched dire attacks on the world. A new generation of Lightbringers must take up arms and fight against it. If you've got that glint in your eyes, wield your weapons, steel your soul, and prepare for another desperate plunge into the massive darkness. Inside the game, you're going to take on the role of the Lightbringers, a group of heroes setting out to fight the forces of darkness in its own lightless realm. In this thrilling cooperative game, players control different hero classes, each defined by their own unique components and playstyle. You're going to engage hordes of enemies in gritty combat, loot their remains to upgrade your heroes, and use the shadows to your advantage to slay your foes. No game master is needed in this standalone game that pits players against the infernal depths and beyond. Opening up the game box, which is extremely deep, the first thing you're going to find is the rules and quest booklet. Let's go ahead and take a look inside to get an idea as to how this thing is formatted and laid out. Here's a look at the first couple pages of the rulebook. You have the chapters, or basically the table of contents on the left-hand side here, going through all the game rules that you'll see pieces of as we flip through the rulebook. The quests here start with a tutorial, and then there's 10 quests below that, a game summary after, and also you'll see you can expand your game experience with free online quests beyond what's in this rulebook, adding even more to enjoy. Game components all listed out there on the right. We'll be taking a look at all of these up close as well. And there are enough components inside of this box that it actually sprawls across a number of pages. Here on the left-hand side, you can see the story or narrative that begins your adventure in Massive Darkness. On the right-hand side, we have a game overview, which breaks out all the major phases that you'll be walking through as you play the game. The hero phase, enemy phase, level up phase, and darkness phase. It even goes as far as to mention, why is this game so dark in the first place? Darkness has a massive impact on the game's mechanisms. Here you get a taste as to how the rest of the rulebook is formatted and laid out. You have illustrations throughout. It begins here with basic concepts across the dice, the dashboards, the hero cards, the skill cards, and the treasure bags. You've got arrows pointing to all different specific locations on all these diagrams with additional text to let you know specifics on what these things are. A few more pages into the book, we get into the setup, which will take you about 18 steps in order to set up the game. Flipping much further into the rulebook towards the back, we get into the quest section here. Of course, it starts off with a tutorial, and this really does depict how each of the quests are laid out in terms of the objectives, special rules, the layout of the tiles, tokens, and everything you need to dig into your quests. And these quests will get continually more and more interesting and intriguing in terms of the different things you're going to have to complete in order to be successful with them. And at the very back of the rulebook, you can see 51 pages in length. The actual back of the rulebook has a really handy game summary, which is awesome for referencing while playing through the game once you've read the rulebook once over. If you're unsure as to where all the miniatures that come in the game go in terms of each of the trays in the box, everything is labeled out here, which is really handy. The next thing you're going to find inside the box, resting on top of the storage solution in its own recessed area, completely sealed, is this pack of punchboards right here, along with a couple other trackers and cards I have off to the side, which I'll show you in a second. First, let's take a look at each of these punchboards front and back. I want to make sure you can see everything. So here is the front side of this one and the back side. The front side of this one here. Again, if you have the special tokens from the crowdfunding campaign, a lot of these tokens are going to be replaced with 3D terrain, which is pretty cool. Things like bridges and pillars and all that kind of stuff. So it really does spice up the gameplay. Plus, if you go after the plastic tokens, that can also really make things look even better. But honestly, the tokens as they are in cardboard form are good enough. They are great. They even go up to 100 there on the damage. Pretty crazy. And you have a lot of condition tokens here, and front and back. And these are the two other pieces that came inside of the sealed package as well. You have the darkness track here, if I remember correctly, and here we have Michael on one side, and on the opposite side we have the Reaper. Now remember before when I was telling you that that pack we just looked through was sealed and resting in a recessed area on top of the storage? This is the storage I'm talking about. There are lips here around the edge where all that stuff sits on top and secure. Now we get into the storage solution, which is full of a ton of miniatures. What I'm going to do is not only show you the cards right now, but I'm also going to go through each of the unique sculpts inside this box. We're not going to check out any of the duplicates because there are quite a few duplicates where mobs are concerned. With all the miniatures out of the way, and of course there are multiples of a number of those smaller miniatures in the box, but you saw every single unique sculpt that comes inside of the base box. Now I gotta say it right at the gates here before I go any further with any more components, absolutely stellar job by Cool Mini or Not on those figures. They're insane. The sculpts, the poses, everything. They look phenomenal. The table presence of this game is going to be awesome. Now looking inside the box here, we have two drawstring bags. We have a rogue one here on the left and another one that looks like almost like a treasure drawstring bag on the right. So we'll go ahead and remove those, and that is going to bring us into the player dashboards as well as what is likely the boards that the dungeon, well, you'll be actually traversing underneath, hiding, and then a whole bunch of cards up top. Here's what the bottom of the box looks like. Yes, indeed, the game tiles are at the bottom, all sealed up. On the right-hand side, we have dice for the game, as well in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the clip-on bases, as well as the trackers, which will go into the player dashboards themselves, and then a row of cards across the top. Let's go ahead and check out the dice and the small components first. Now let's go ahead and check out every single game tile front and back that comes inside of the box. Each of these have unique illustrations on them, and they definitely have differences in terms of their color palettes used on either side. These all look so good. And that, my friends, is going to wrap up this game unboxing video for Massive Darkness 2 Hellscape from Cool Mini or not. Whether you're receiving the game through the crowdfunding campaign or you're chasing after it in retail, I really hope this video helps you to understand all the components that come inside of the box to help you make an informed decision as to whether or not Massive Darkness 2 is for you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, keep on rolling solo.